couple of days ago I did a video where I said that instead of driving Hondas, Toyotas, Nissans, or anything in that category of cars, anything that you consider reliable, because you're afraid that these type of cars here are unreliable, I made the argument that this is better than those. This is my 2016 Mercedes Benz S550 4MATIC, which means it's all-wheel drive. And today I'm going to show you what it cost me to operate this car for the past 2 years and 8 months. This is that retired dude. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. And let's get started on what the maintenance cost is for me for this car for the past 2 years and 8 months. I think that people do like these kind of cars, and not this particular car, but they like cars like this that seem unattainable. I think even if a person has money, not a lot of money, but some money to buy one of these, they panic at the fear of those stories that people tell. Like, I've gotten comments on my video I just put out a few days ago. One guy said, well, talk to me about it when it hits 100,000 miles. Or somebody else said, well, I had a friend and his suspension went out. Those things can happen. True, they can happen. But that's no reason not to buy one of these cars. Except if you cannot afford to drive this car, you absolutely should not be fooling around with these type of cars if you cannot afford to bankroll this car. The point of this video is to show you that it's not as expensive to bankroll this car as you may think it is, or to maintain this car as you may think it is. As anything in car world, receipts are king. And I have receipts. I keep receipts for everything. These are my receipts for 2 years and 8 months. And I'm gonna lay out to you the breakdown of when I bought this car, how much I paid for this car, and how much it has cost me to maintain this car. I'm not gonna include in here things like window tint, the exhaust work I did, because I did do some work on the exhaust, but that's not a needed thing. That was a wanted thing. Wheels and tires, I changed these wheels and tires because this car came with an AMG package, and I did not like the AMG wheels, so I changed them to these Mercedes Benz wheels, and I put new tires on it. I'm not including that. And I'm not including gas, because to me, gas is not a maintenance item. Gas is just to put in your car to get you from one place to another. Oil, absolutely. You gotta get oil services done, transmission services and things like that. But I'm not gonna include gas in this. But from when I bought the car to now, I'm gonna give you a breakdown. I wrote it all down, but here are the receipts. I'm going to tell you what I paid for this car for the past 2 years and 8 months. So I bought this car on December the 5th, 2023. It right now has 70,060 miles on it. It had 54,800 when I bought it. So I put 15,260 miles on this car since I bought it just a little over 2.5 years ago. The car was being sold for $35,988. I put $5,000 down. So I left out of there owing them $30,988. On December 5th, when I bought the car, I had a good Carfax on this car. I had receipts. I had good records. So I knew the car was in good shape because the original owner bought this car on a lease. And then when the first lease was up, or when the original lease was up, the owner bought the car and then kept the car after that. So from 2016 to when I bought the car in 2023, the same owner had it the entire time. And in that period of time, they put 54,800 miles on it. They traded it in, and then I bought it from the dealership that they got it from. So that was a fair deal to me. 54,000 miles, $36,000. I was shopping at the time. Accords, Camrys, Altimas, Avalons, because I was in that hunt for reliability. But when I looked at the prices of the Accords and looked at the prices of the Camrys and those things, newer, of course, than a 2016, but they were carrying more miles because of their reliability factor, and the prices were very similar, $36,000, $38,000 for one of those, compared to buying one of these. This is what I went with. So when I bought this car, because it had receipts already and it had a good dealership history coming off lease from the original owner, and then the original owner keeping it after the lease and maintaining it, I didn't do what I usually do with vehicles. I'm going to say this right now, which is going to be sacrilege to people. When I buy a car, I don't do PPIs and I don't buy warranties. I don't have a warranty on my Range Rover. I don't have a warranty on this car. I don't have a warranty on my 911. And I didn't do a PPI on any of them because I have a way of buying cars that suits me where I don't waste money on those things. That's my choice. Other people who want to do that, that's fine for them, because I found, you know, in my opinion, PPIs can't tell you everything. They can only tell you what the person looking sees. But if I decide I'm going to buy a vehicle, once I test drive it, if it's weirding out on me during a test drive, then I won't buy it. If it's bucking and shaking, then I won't buy the vehicle. But the vehicle is already overall satisfying to me as far as the test drive goes, and I've made that decision that I'm going to buy the vehicle. I'm going to buy it, and I'm going to immediately send it to a dealer, and I'm going to tell them it's new to me. Make it new to me. Go in there and change it all. Did it to my Range Rover, did it to my 911. I didn't do it to this car because I had very recent maintenance records when I bought it. So when I bought it on December the 5th, I just drove it. So I'm saying all that to say that when I bought this car, I did not go through the usual maintenance routine that I go through. The first time this went to Monroe's was December the 19th, 2024, which was a year after I bought it for its first service. I had a brake flush done, oil service. This car has K&N filters in it. They were in there when I bought it. They did a K&N service on it, and I had them go through the car and just check everything just to make sure that for that past year, everything was okay. I had driven 2,441 miles in that year. I wanted the plugs changed. They checked the vehicle. They pulled the plugs, and they told me the plugs were fine, and they did not change the plugs. That service cost me $513.17. So the next time the vehicle went to Monroe's was July 25th, 2025, because I had a battery light come on. So I took it in there, and they did a full workup on the car, and they found that my auxiliary battery was dying. So because they were changing the auxiliary battery, I told them to go ahead, change both batteries. This has two batteries. The car had 63,185 miles. So from the December 19th, 2024 to July 25th, 2025, the car had 63,185 miles on it, which means I had driven 5,944 miles. Because I had been back and forth to Orlando in the car a couple of times since then, because this is an amazing highway vehicle. So anytime I took a long trip, I took this. That service cost me $1,063.74 to change the main battery and the auxiliary battery. So the next time after that, the car went to Monroe's was January 22nd, 2026, when I took it in for service. I had oil service done, and I had them just do the general inspection. Anytime I take my vehicle in for anything to Monroe's, I ask them to go through the car and look for things that may be going bad, because I want to change or replace things before they go bad. So they did an oil service on it, did an inspection for any issues. They found none. The car had 66,096 miles at that time, which was 2,911 miles from the previous work when I had the battery done, and that cost me $298.55 for that oil service and for that inspection. Then I went back in again on June the 9th, 2026, just 5 months later, because I had a light come on that told me I had turbo coolant that was low. This is not a problem in this car. It's just that it has turbos. It uses the hot V setup where on the top of your engine, the turbos sit one in front of the other in the top of the engine. It's hot there. And this car is unusual in that it has a separate coolant tank for the turbos. It uses the same coolant as the car, but the coolant for the turbos has its own separate tank. So I had a light to come on, said it was low. I took it to Monroe's, and while I was there, I said, well, as long as you're here for this low coolant on the turbos, just flush the whole car. So they flushed the entire the entire coolant system. They topped off the coolant for the turbos, and the car had 70,060 miles on it that day, which was 2 months ago. And that service, well, that was 3,964 miles from the previous service when I had the other oil service done in January, because I had been to Orlando and back in it, and to Texas a couple times. That service cost me, that oil service and flush cost me $524.47. And this is August, that was June. I've had nothing done since. So this isn't part of the maintenance cost of the car, but since I brought it up about replacing the coolant in the turbo system, I wanted to show what that looks like for anybody who's not familiar with it, because I wasn't familiar with it. And when I took it down to Monroe's, they weren't familiar with it. But this tank right here is the coolant tank for the turbos, which are in here. And this tank is the coolant tank for the car, for the engine. They use the same type of coolant, the exact same type of coolant, but these two tanks are not connected to each other. When I had the coolant light, I thought I would need to top off this and it would flood over to here. Well, not true. They are totally not connected to each other. If you're low on coolant in your engine, it doesn't do anything for this. If you're low on coolant for your turbos, putting fluid in here, they don't connect. They don't run from one to the other. So you got to fill them up separately. This system is not flushable as far as I know. At least Monroe wasn't able to flush it. It just gets topped off if it's low. They flushed out this entire system here. I just wanted to bring that up because I mentioned it. For anybody who's not familiar with, who owns one of these, who may not know that, if you get a low turbo coolant light, it's going to be this tank right here, not this tank right here. So let's break this down. So from December the 5th, 2023 until June 9th, 2026, I put 15,260 miles on this car. I've had it for 32 months, and all the maintenance that I just ran off to you cost me a grand total of $2,399.93. When I divide that by the 32 months, it has cost me $74.99 to drive this car, or to maintain this car over those 2 years and 8 months. $74.99. I don't think that's bad at all. There you have it. That's what I pay. If you can put money away, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 to the side for it in case you have a problem, then you'll be ready. I say you should do it. Don't be a chicken. Stop being usual. These things are on the market. Go get yourself one. And by all means, go start your own YouTube channel so we can see what you do all day long, so we can give you some likes, some shares, some subscribes, some hypes. And go do something you always wanted to do, and do it before you die. So people cannot go to your funeral and say, that dude always wanted to buy a car without a warranty, but he died before he had a chance to do it. See you in the next video, folks.